जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यमुनतीरवरचारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यमुनतीरवरचारी। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपीवल्लभ राधा गोपीवल्लभ राधा जय राधा गोपीवल्लभ राधा गोपीवल्लभ राधा जय हो जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी आवतु मे ताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो गौर हरि जय सखी नंदन जय सखी नंदन जय सखी नंदन गौर हरि पतिता पावाना पतिता पावाना पतिता पावाना गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल। श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ की जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय श्री विपाय गौरंग भगवान की जय श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह स्वामी प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्री पंच तत्व की जय श्री गोमाता की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री वृंदावन गोस्वामी की जय श्री ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ गुरु परंपरा सांप्रदाय की जय ऐसी भक्त वीरांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर डिविटी फाउंडर श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पदा सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी नमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हुकुम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति यत्कृपः तमां वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थां गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सभ्याभ्यन्तरं शुचे श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी and माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम। सुबह प्रभु निरुपमा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। हैप्पी टू सी यू। राम रेड्डी प्रभु संयुक्त माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम। थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग।
Hare Krishna Dhanat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
after a long time I'm seeing you from Bangalore.
But I have attended all the classes.
Hare, no, I'm seeing you after a long time. Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna. Teja Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining. Shri Gopal Prabhu, Puna Mataji, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Kinchan Play Prabhu, Shobha Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
Suma Mataji, Praveen Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण
Pavan Prabhu, Sandhya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Harsha
हरे
Prabhu ji, Harsha Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Puna Mataji again.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
गायत्री Mataji, Hare Krishna. दंडवत प्रणाम। मालिका महर प्रभु, मीरा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम। महेश प्रभु, प्रशांति माता जी, हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
किरण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम। दासराज प्रभु एंड मानसा माता जी दंडवत
प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
मधुसूदन प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
लक्ष्मी माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम, थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग।
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। हरे
नंदला
कृष्ण।
माता जी, थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग, दंडवत प्रणाम। Lavanya Mataji, Dandot Mataji, thank you for joining. Welcome all. I'm very happy to be among all of you on this wonderful Ekadashi day, a special Ekadashi that I'm sure every ISKCON devotee meditates upon. When will it come during the year? Which is Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi, right? Today is prominent for not drinking anything, not eating anything for the next 24 hours. But that is only the austerity side that is prominent, but the real prominence is Ekadashi. It's a day which is special, should be invested more in devotion, devotional service. So I congratulate all the devotees who have taken a vow to also stay completely fasting and completely not drinking any water. Please be careful about your health also. It's peak summer. But whoever are determined, I wish them all the best. And I really hope someday I'll also get that kind of determination and conviction to serve. And I'll also try my best to whatever extent I can, taking you as an inspiration. Today is a special day because we are also couple of weeks away from opening of our temple. Opening of our temple in our center rather in Gachibowli, right? So very, very excited. Maybe the next Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi will all be in the center. Hopefully we'll all be also chanting together in the center. I remember the days when we used to all meet for Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi and actually chant 108 rounds, 100 rounds, 64 rounds, like that. Now we have done that. And off late, please, you all have to forgive me that I'm not even attending some of this class in the morning because I'm a little bit busy with running around relating to the center and some other responsibilities. But I'm also eager to finish those responsibilities and become regular to this morning classes. And I request everyone on the call to please be regular and encourage each other for these classes. Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the same, is always glorious. Whoever is speaking it, we are repeating what Srila Prabhupada has given. So without any more further delay, we'll get into the 30th chapter of the third canto. While I was reading this chapter from the book Srimad Bhagavatam, I was amazed how come this chapter is chosen and why it is coming to me. In many Bhagavatam classes in between, I could not take those classes because of other responsibilities. But mystically, after all the circulations, Hare Krishna Giriraj Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. We'll see you join.
Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. Hallelujah. Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
So mystically, after all the chapters move on, devotee by devotee, this chapter Krishna chose for me. You know, I really felt when I was reading this chapter, he's perfectly describing all my previous lives and to a large extent my current life also. I'm being frank here, not being humble. When I was reading this, my God, Prabhupada's purports to the verses and the kind of explanation, gross explanation of what is the life of a person in this material world and how he prolongs his life in this material world, what all he goes through in this material world, and finally ending with how he can come out of the cycle of staying in this material world is so beautifully explained in this chapter. So if you can have the book Srimad Bhagavatam in front of all of you, you can bring your respective Bhagavatam sets, second part of the third canto. Instead of displaying on the screen the electronic version, I thought I'll just read directly from the book itself. Right? It feels nice holding a book and reading. Ekapila uvacha tasyai tasya jano nunam nayam vedoru vikramam kalyamano api valino vayor iva ghanavali. Kapila Vacha, Lord Kapila said, Tasya etasya. of this very time factor, jana, person, nunam, certainly, na, not, I am, this, Veda, knows, Puruvikramam, the great strength, Kalyamana, being carried off, Api, although, Balina, powerful, Vayo, of the wind, Iva, like, Ghana, of clouds, Avali, a mass. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor which is being carried. Hare Krishna. So here, this chapter, as I said, is a complete knowledge that a materialistic person should get to see himself in the position that he is in, and to take the necessary decisions to get out of that position. Right? So it is third canto, 30th chapter. Third canto, 30th chapter. So third canto is 2 books, part 1, part 2. You can take the part 2 book and go to the 30th chapter. Right? So once again, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is being carried. So, Prabhujis and Matajis, it's so easy to be, it's so easy to forget Krishna in this material world. Actually, to remember Krishna is very difficult in this material world, because we have so many desires. We have come here to fulfill our desires, and material world is created in such a way that our desires will be fulfilled. Right? We can see that all our desires. Somebody wanted a house, somebody wanted a wife, somebody wanted beautiful body, somebody wanted, fame, name. Everything is being fulfilled. How many people in this call, their desires are not being fulfilled? Just think about it. It's all being fulfilled. And we are actually thinking that we are the people who are fulfilling those desires for ourselves. But the truth is no. They are planned to be fulfilled, because Krishna wants us to be done with our desires. So he has planned, this material world is created, Mayadevi is there to make sure that our desires are fulfilled, and we learn a lesson out of fulfilling those desires. Right? So, but while we fulfill those desires, if we are not learning those lessons, then the whole endeavor of coming into this material world is a waste. We miss one more boat. Right? So we have been given this body, yes, to fulfill our desires, to go through our karmic cycle, but we also have to learn the lessons and become ready to not get into the situation again. And if you're not doing that, and if you're not awake to do that, then we continue. Then we continue in this, material world. So this verse is explaining that the time factor is right behind the living entity when he is in this material world. And he cannot even gaze that it is right behind him, ready to take him off from the current body. Just like the clouds, the big clouds in the sky, they think that we are so big, but wind can come and despair them in different directions. Right? They can't even gaze. So what a beautiful explanation. Influence of the wind is being explained with the influence of the time by Kapila Dev to his mother Devahuti. And in the purport, Prabhupada says one line, I'm just reading that one, some part of the purport. A conditioned soul lives in a particular body for a fixed measurement of time. And it is recommended in the scripture that within that, some kind of sound coming. I don't know what's going on.
Everybody's on mute.
No, it's something to do with my system here. Sorry. Yeah. 1 minute, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, so Prabhupada says in the purport, a conditioned soul lives in a particular body for a fixed measurement of time, and it is recommended in the scriptures that within that small measurement of time, one has to finish Krishna consciousness and thus gain release from the influence of time factor. So all Prabhujis, we all have a fixed time. We all have a very, very fixed time. I don't think we think like that, right? Today morning, how many of you got up and thought that, oh, I have fixed time? Maybe today is the last day. Maybe this is the last Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. Maybe today I will die. How many of you thought like that? No, right? Srimad Bhagavatam makes us realize where we are and what is the situation we are in. That is the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. And here Kapila Deva is speaking to his mother Devavati. And for all our benefit is discussing these topics. The next chapter is going to be even more interesting actually. How a living entity comes into this material world. The whole process of pregnancy and in the womb, how he grows, everything explained next chapter. This chapter is about when he's in the material world, what leads him to the next birth. That is what is being explained, right? So I'll read the next verse. Yam yam artham upadatte dukkhena sukha hetave tam tam dhunoti bhagavan puman sochati yatkrite. Whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the time factor destroys, and for this reason, the conditioned soul laments. So losing things is very, very painful. No? You work so much, you get a degree. How many of you worked very hard to get your educational degrees? You remember those nights? Just close your eyes for 1 minute. Just try to remember the horrible nights that we spent writing examinations. They were so pathetic and they were so horrible that even now sometimes once in a year we get the dream as if we are writing that examination. I don't know how many have that experience. I have that experience once in a while. I'm still writing 10th grade examination or still writing the 12th grade examination or my CA examination. And every time I put myself in a very precarious condition in the dream where I'm not prepared, or it was the wrong subject that I prepared, or I'm caught cheating. I don't know. Get up in the morning with so much, tiredness and so much anxiety that, oh my God, what would have happened if you have not passed, something like that. So we all have gone through this process. The greatest energy of God is forgetfulness. Matta smriti, matta, forgetfulness. That we can easily forget what we have gone through. Right? How many of us remember what we have gone through in the past year? Right? But you see the greatest power of God, He can make us completely forgetful of our past. Completely forgetful. So that He gives us a fresh beginning. Then at least with this fresh beginning, try to overcome this Shakti of Maya. But then we are not right there. So Prabhupada at the end of the purport, in the last 4 lines, says, they do not know that this span of life in a particular type of body is but a flash in the eternal journey. Not knowing this fact, they take the small flash of life to be everything and they waste their time in improving economic conditions. Prabhupada also was in Grihastha Ashram and he knows how a Grihastha thinks. Of course, Prabhupada is a pure devotee, but he is the perfect person to write how a materialistic person thinks. Materialist person always thinks, let me improve this, then I will chant. Let me improve this, then I will become serious. Let this get over, then I will become more serious, like that. And that's exactly, and we spend our time improving our situation, right? 3 bedrooms, a 4 bedroom, 4 bedrooms, a 5 bedroom, 5 bedrooms, a coffin, right? One single bedroom, bedroom, where you sleep in it. Uh, or in our tradition, we burn you off, right? You become ash. Can you believe it? We all are going to become ash one day. We all are going to become ash one day. We won't even exist, right? Just in the thin air, you throw that ash and we are gone, right? That is what we are. And we are trying to improve our condition in this material world. How foolish can we be? It's going to be a very gross chapter, Prabhuji. As I said in the beginning, Prabhupada, Lord Krishna chose this chapter for me. And I really felt that, my God, what a gross description of our past life. Actually, let me tell you that this is all our past life. Please hear me out. Whatever you're doing right now, I would request, try to stop it for some time, because it's on a very holy Ekadashi day. You are hearing from Sukadeva Goswami what Kapila Dev told for all of us, that this was our past life. Just understand. If you're not convinced that this is your current life, I am convinced this is my current life also. But at least be convinced that it was a past life. Because of that, at the end of the chapter, you'll understand how you came here, right? And why you came here. This is what we all did. This is what we all did. And many of us are even doing right now, right? Even though we're introduced to devotional life, introduced in ISKCON to go forward, but we're doing this mistake, right? So please be attentive. So we become aware of what mistake we're again repeating. So we don't repeat this, whether you're a Prabhuji or a Mataji, a young person or a old person, a child or a elderly person, doesn't matter. We all are in the same boat. We are all in the same boat and we are doing the same mistake, right? So please pay attention as we go through these important verses by Kapila Dev, where he's explaining to all of us through Mother Devavati. Yad adruvasya dehasya sanubandasya durmati druvani manyate mohat griha kshetra vasunicha. The misguided materialist does not know that his very body is impermanent and that the attractions of home, land, and wealth, which are in relationship to that body, are all temporary, are also temporary. Out of ignorance only, he thinks that everything is permanent. अच्छा लग रहा है सभी को? Can somebody give thumbs up if you are liking this chapter? Nobody is liking it. The gross exposure of our lives, right? We all think our life is temporary, or our life is, we all think that it's permanent, right? We're all here to enjoy. Tell me, who is the most beautiful person on the call? You can thumbs up. Frankly, all thumbs up should come, because everybody feels his eyes, his nose, his teeth are the most beautiful teeth. Show your teeth. Like this, right? So that is our situation. We are so much engrossed in Maya that we think we are the center of the world. Let me tell you, nobody is looking at us. The other day I was hearing from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Beautifully was saying that we all think that people are looking at us. Whole life is spent thinking that people are looking at us. You'd be surprised that even a mosquito is not looking at you. Right? Nobody cares who you are, what you're doing, what you've achieved in life. The only person who is looking at us, two people are looking at us, Krishna and Yamaraj. Right? They are the only people looking at us. Krishna is looking how much ready are we becoming to go back to him. Yamaraj is looking how much ready are we becoming to go back to him. Right? So we can decide where we can go. So in the second purport, second paragraph, Prabhupada writes, in another part of Srimad Bhagavatam, the acceptance of the body as oneself, the acceptance of others as kinsmen in relationship to this body, and the acceptance of land of one's birth as worshipable are declared to be products of animal civilization. Hare Krishna. When, however, one is enlightened in Krishna consciousness, he can use these for the service of the Lord. Right? Just think, one dog is there. The dog had 5 children. Those 5 children had 5 children. Those 5 children had 5 children. All this can happen within a span of 6-7 years, right? The whole family of dogs are there. And all these dogs are attached to each other, thinking he is my mama, he is my kaka, he is my nana, he is my dadi, she is my uncle, right? So people who think like that, thinking acceptance of kinsmen, right? Basically your family members as as part of you, you are part of them. Oh, we are all same blood. Ma mama ya ma illu, right? My relationship. Animalistic civilization. Prabhupada is saying. Very heavy, right? Very heavy. Yes, if somebody is new to Krishna consciousness, by mistake you got this link, I'll request you to leave the meeting and we can meet again with fresh session of SSR. Or by mistake, if you are seeing this recording, I would request you that you are not ready to hear this chapter because you need to prepare yourself to hear this chapter. Going through SSR sessions and a little bit of satsang and a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, then come to this because this is very advanced and very frank, blunt exposure of our situation in this material world. Right. So be prepared to hear things that will make us uncomfortable, provided we want to become uncomfortable. Right. So some devotees sometimes, even being in devotional path, we don't take these verses and these explanations seriously because we think that they don't belong to me. But actually, if you see your dinacharya, how I've spent my yesterday and day before, that will explain how much percentage of time I've spent doing these activities, right? So how and what will be my destination? Our destination at the time of death will be exactly according to the activities you are performing during the day, right? So just because we are chanting 16 rounds, just because we are following some principles, it is not sufficient. Prabhupada said two most important things apart from chanting and following the four great principles. What is it? Never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. These two things are very important throughout the day, right? Throughout the day. So we have to remember that. We should not forget that. Right? That is trying to be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, we will get attached to the land also. Getting attached to land, saying that this border is my border, this border is your border. Just recognizing yourself with anything of this material world is an animalistic civilization. Like we always say that verse, right? So all these activities related to animal, even the thought of thinking that my relatives, my kaka, my nana, my dada, my chicha, adi equal to dogs recognizing with each other in a gully, right? Which is what Prabhupada is saying, products of animal civilization. And when, however, one is enlightened in Krishna consciousness, he can use them in the service of Lord. Now, does it mean we should hate our relatives? We should hate what we have been given? No. Use them in Krishna consciousness. So that is the conclusion. A devotee uses them in Krishna consciousness. A devotee can have relatives. A devotee can have friends because he will engage them in Krishna consciousness and they are all the way relevant to him in relation to Krishna consciousness. Right? So that should be understood. Text 4. Jantur Vaibhava etasmin yam yonim anubrajayet tasyam sa labate nirvrittim na virajyate. The living entity, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species, and he is never averse to being situated in such a condition. This is an ultimate verse. When I was reading this, just think, whatever situation you are in, you are proud of being what you are. Whatever species, right? Tomorrow, after working in Lauren IT Services, that is my company name, if I become a mosquito in next life, I will not feel that I was something in past life. I will still feel that I am great in the current life. You understanding? I am A-class mosquito. That's what I think. Right? And in that also, I'll be very proud that I can spread malaria. I am a malaria spreading mosquito. Right? Or spread dengue. That is even higher. Like, today's people think here, right? I'm a Pulaya Engineering College I'm CBIT, somebody thinks I'm IIT. Like that, a mosquito is also thinking, I'm normal mosquito, I'm malaria mosquito, I'm dengue mosquito. Right? There is no difference. Actually, if you look at it, there is no difference. We are recognizing with something meaningless and temporary in this world. So in purport, Prabhupada says, the satisfaction of the living entity in a particular type of body, even if it is most abominable, is called illusion. What a sentence. Huh? Please, everybody, come on, whatever you're doing, pay attention. I'm going to read it again. The satisfaction of the living entity in a particular type of body, even if it is the most abominable, is called illusion. That satisfaction is called illusion. Meaning that fellow is going through horrible things, but if somebody stops you and asks, how are you doing? I'm fine, I'm happy. That is called illusion. Right? A man in a higher position may feel dissatisfaction with the standard of life of a lower grade man. But the lower grade man is satisfied in that position because the spell of Maya, the externality. So we are actually thinking, hey, that beggar, that fellow is, sitting on that footpath. What life he has. He could have been, I am so better off. I am able to enjoy, he's not able to enjoy. But that fellow is actually enjoying. Everybody in this material world will find some kind of happiness. Some kind of happiness he'll find. Because that is how the material world is designed. For you to be satisfied by fulfilling your desires in whatever situation you are, and you feel that you are special. You are the most special person, isn't it? You are the center of the world. Narkastho api deham vai na pumam styakyum ichchati narakyam nirruttau satyam deva maya vimohita. The conditioned living entity is satisfied in his own particular species of life, while deluded by the covering influence of the illusionary energy. He feels little inclined to cast off his body, even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. Prabhu's this chapter, I'm reading it again, I'm really getting goosebumps, like as if Kapila Dev is exposing, even while deluded by the covering influence of illusionary energy, he feels inclined to cast off his body. Even when in hell, he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. Here, example of Indra is given. In purport, Prabhupada gives example of Indra.